Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Fifth Ave Coffee Talk. And today we are going to be talking all about foiling. So it's just going to be like a little tidbit of our Redken's Principles of Foiling class. So I invite you to go ahead, pour yourself a cup of coffee and sit down, put your feet up, take that well-deserved break and relax and join me as we talk about some foiling. So today my coffee creamer, because you know 'tis the season, and so the creamer that I have in my coffee is the mocha, peppermint mocha, one of my favorites. So I want to thank you again for joining. So today, I'm gonna put this down real quick. So today, like I said, we are going to talk about the principles of foiling. And hi Kelsey, whenever we do foiling, okay, there's certain principles that we follow. So Redken is very much so a principle-based company. So everything that we do, whether it's design, color, foiling, finishing, it's all based upon principles. What's a principle, you might ask? It is like a law. It is never changing. It is universal no matter what time of the month it is, the day, the year, or where we live. We know that if we say hold the hair in a certain direction and cut it, that it is going to respond in the same way every time because it is a principle. So we live by principles of foiling as well. Now, I know as, like when I was in school, I learned a certain method, right? And typically this was your method. Hi, Ashley. So how many of you guys typically learned this? That mohawk section, putting in 1,000,000 foils to do a full head highlight because you wanted to create dimension, but after a while, you have so many foils in there that you've totally lost all the dimension. So yeah, so this is actually a method that we learned in school, that mohawk section, right? So, and it is when we take this method, we put our own style to it, I'm gonna set that down, that we end up achieving our outcome. And you know what, after a while, that outcome that we've achieved, if we like it, we tend to do it over and over again, right? So in essence, we almost kind of form a habit. So hi Michelle, miss you. So as we form those habits, okay, typically our results are going to reflect what it is that we've done, right? And you know what? We're thinking, okay, so I'm getting pretty good results. Why would I even want to change it? Well, after a while, when we keep doing the same thing over and over again, that same habit, that same technique over and over again, it tends to become more of a belief that this is the only way to do a full head highlight, right? And when in essence, there are some different ways. I shouldn't say better, but easier ways than doing this right here, right? So today, like I said, I'm gonna share just a little tidbit of our Principles of Foiling class with you. And most definitely, if you are interested in having the full-blown Principles of Foiling class in your salon, message me, reach out to me, reach out to your sales consultant, and we can definitely arrange it where I can come in and do the full-on Principles of Foiling. And if you're not in my area, that's okay too, because we always have digital classes. So if that sounds good to you, throw me up some thumbs, maybe give me some hearts. As my good friend Ashley, who is on here now, always says, I love emojis. I can't get enough of them. So, okay, you guys ready? Great. So today we're going to talk about lines, okay? And I have some friends here that showed up with me. I have the lovely Irene back here. And then I have the twins. These are Ellie's over here. And these mannequins are from Pivot Point. They are really good mannequins to utilize for practicing as well as showcasing new techniques and new styles to your guests. So, like I said, we're going to talk about lines. In foiling, the lines that we are going to talk about, first of all, is going to be a horizontal line. A horizontal line is always going to add width and weight to your look. Okay, what I want you to think about is when you think in terms of lines, all right, when you have your foil, think of this edge of the foil, okay, as your line of color. Wherever you place that foil, whether it be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal forward or diagonal back, this is your line of color. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, when we're talking horizontal, like I said, a horizontal line is going to create width or weight, because whenever you do a horizontal placement, all of the hair is going to fall on top of each other. So it ends up creating a very dramatic look, a look of heavy veil of color. Okay, so this is an example of a horizontal placement. So you can see I have a deep side part, but all of this was placed on a horizontal placement. Okay, so I started from the bottom and I worked up, going up to the top, up to that part. And you can see all of this color here lays on top of each other. So we have a heavy weighted feel of color on this side. That's a really good example of a horizontal placement. So whenever we're thinking in terms of placement, okay, you need to have in your mind what it is that you want your desired outcome to be. Now, with this Ellie, I definitely wanted to have that heavy veil of color, so a horizontal placement was absolutely perfect. If you're following me and you're liking what you're hearing, throw up some emojis. I haven't seen any for a little bit, so give me some hearts, give me some thumbs, some smiley faces, because I like emojis. If you have any questions, be sure to type them in on the bottom. And I promise if I miss your question when the live is over, I will review it and I will answer any questions that I may receive, okay? So then we have our vertical lines. Now, our vertical lines, and this is a good example of vertical, they're designed to draw our eye vertically, okay? So vertical lines are going to create the illusion of length, okay? So a vertical line is great to utilize whenever you have a guest that maybe wants to grow their hair out. And it's maybe, right about here, and it's just going to help to give them that illusion that their hair is getting a little bit longer. Now, also, remember, like I said, always think of what your end result is going to be. What kind of effect are you trying to create? Vertical is going to create length. Horizontal is going to create width, or that weight, that heavy veil of color. And then back here on Miss Irene, we have, she doesn't want to come over, we have diagonal. Now, I did one side straight and one side curly so that you could see. On our Irene, you can see that it's like you really don't see like a whole lot of lines and what have you. It's a very blended look when you look through here. So our diagonal forward is designed to create movement coming towards the face, and diagonal back is designed to create movement going towards the back. Now, excuse me, with our diagonal placements, what this does is this creates the most natural fall. It creates that movement or that sense of roundness. So let's say, for instance, you had somebody come in and they wanted their hair to look very natural. They wanted to see some dimension, but they wanted it to look very natural. The diagonal placement within your sections or your diagonal lines are going to create the most natural movement. Now, whenever we are doing, say, like a full head foil, okay, when we go in and we place everything on that horizontal, kind of like, the method that we originally learned, everything is placed on a horizontal. So this becomes that heavy veil of color all the way through, except for this top section. If they part it down the middle, what happens, and I am going to go ahead and switch some mannequins around here so that I can use this stand. And I am going to show you, whenever we do a horizontal placement on the top of the head, it actually ends up falling vertically. And so if we are trying to avoid, say, a stripy look within their part, the one thing that we don't want to do is create a horizontal parting. So here, this is horizontal in relation to the room, okay? So when we foil this out in a horizontal placement or that mohawk section across the top, when it actually falls, it is going to fall vertical, which is great if you want to maybe emphasize the length of the hair, but whenever it's on a part, that's where it tends to maybe look a little stripy. So what you can do is on the section that you're going through with your part, you can take that placement and put it on a diagonal. Anytime you go with the part, you'll see the dimension more so than if you go against the part. So when it comes to foiling, there's a whole lot more to think about than just kind of putting that foil in. I know. We get so comfortable. I bet you could probably do your foiling in your sleep, right? But I challenge you to maybe start to think outside the box a little bit as far as your foiling. Try various placements. Maybe around the sides of the head, you want that heavier veil of color so that you see more color coming down. But on the top, you want it to look much more natural. So try some diagonal placements. Maybe behind here, you want to create that illusion of length. So try some vertical placement, maybe in the nape of your guest's hair. So remember, placement really does matter. And it is in that placement that we can really achieve any type of look. So I invite you to ask questions if you have any questions. Also, if you want to have the full Redken Principles of Foiling class in your salon next year or even this year, just reach out to me, reach out to your sales consultant, and we can make that happen. I want to thank you for joining me today. I know it was a very quick one because I know you're super busy with all of the holiday hair going on. And so most definitely, I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day, and I will see you next week on Fifth Ave Coffee Talk. Hi, Dawn. Bye. We'll see you later.